Hi, fourth graders. Today we're going to start an art project that you can spend 2 art classes working on. You can start today and you can finish today if you can, or you can start today, you can finish next time. You can also work on this on your own. So what am I even talking about? Well, let me tell you. Every year at Lakeview School, fourth graders participate in a contest that's sponsored by the Denville Volunteer Fire Department. The fire department every year asks fourth grade students at Lakeview School to come up with a poster design that advertises to people about how to stay safe during a fire or how to prevent a fire from happening. Let's talk about the first thing first. First thing first, for this project, you're gonna have to come up with an idea. You're gonna have to come up with something to advertise. Come up with one fire safety tip that you think is very important, that you think people should know, and that you think you would like to share on your poster. There's so many ideas. We're gonna run through some ideas before we talk about the next step. Here we go. I'm gonna show you guys some pictures as well. Fire safety. If you have a fire, you think you could have a fire in a house, people say, feel the door with the back of your hand before exiting the room. The back of your hand is the sensitive part of your hand. This part is not as sensitive, but the back of your hand is very sensitive. So you can see that in this picture. The picture has to do with the words. Maybe this is your theme. If you think there's a fire on the other side of a door, feel the back of the door to see if it's hot. A very popular fire safety tip is if your clothes catch fire, stop, drop, and roll. Maybe this is the theme of your poster. If there is a fire, they say to stay low in smoke. Air is the cleanest towards the ground in the room. So you can see the picture of the people crawling in the smoke. Fall and crawl to the nearest exit. You guys can even make up your own sayings if you want to. This one is a saying that already exists, but feel free to kind of make up a slogan or some fancy words to say if you would like to make a really eye-catching poster. You can pick kitchen safety as a theme. Maybe your poster is all about being safe in the kitchen. They say turn handles in if you're cooking with pots and pans on the stove, especially if you have somebody small at home, like a little brother or sister. You don't want to have the handles facing away from the stove. Be aware while you're cooking. Never walk away while you're cooking. So if you're baking in the oven, definitely always be aware, set a timer, make sure that you are on top of your stove and oven. If there is a fire, you can talk about what do you do? If there's a fire, you're supposed to evacuate. That means leave as quickly as possible and call 911. This is a really old-fashioned phone, so don't feel like you need to copy any of these pictures. You don't. You can be creative. You can make up your own pictures, but maybe this is your theme. Evacuate and call 911 if there's a fire. Another idea for you. Don't play with matches. Maybe your theme is something as simple as that. Maybe it's a prevent a forest fire theme. Maybe you want to say something about don't leave candles burning. And feel free to make up your own lettering as well. If you guys notice, I kind of made up different lettering for all of these examples, just so you guys can see that there's a lot of different possibilities. You can have fun with the way you choose to write for this project. You can even make up your own sayings. I mentioned that before. Don't play with fire. It doesn't play back. So you guys can come up with anything that you think would suit your pictures the best. Something that we do at school is we always have an exit plan for every classroom in the building. If there's a fire drill, which we do have once a month, you would have to go to a certain spot. So maybe you have a poster that has a theme with make an exit plan for every room in your house. Make a meeting spot outside, and as you can see, it's a family kind of discussing their plan. The last one I have for you, there's a lot, is test your smoke detectors. They say test your smoke detector batteries every 6 months. And a lot of people change their batteries during the beginning and end of daylight savings time, which is actually coming up in a couple of weeks. So this could be a theme as well. These are just ideas. Do you have to pick from these ideas? No. If you have your own idea, you can come up with whatever you want to. I think the hardest part of this activity is going to be to just pick one idea. The first thing you're going to have to do is pick one idea for this project. The second thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get a scrap piece of paper and a pencil and sketch out a design for your poster. I actually don't have any examples to show you. Sorry about that, but use a pencil, use a piece of paper. You can draw whatever you guys want to, sketch it out, see what you think, draw a picture, kind of feel it out. Now, before you move on to a final copy, I want you to find an adult and I want you to ask them to spell check you before you move on to a final copy. Once you've got your idea locked in, once you know what you're doing, once you are feeling really good about it, get your spelling checked and move on to a final copy. If you want to start like again on a different piece of paper to make a neater final copy, great, make it happen. If you want to use the same piece of paper as your rough draft, if you can get away with it, go for it. Why not? Do your best. You guys can use any kind of paper you want, any color you want, any size you want. Just make sure that it's not bigger than 12 inches by 18 inches. It should be smaller than that. So regular size paper is great. If you have slightly bigger, that's okay too. But you don't need to make like a huge poster board. You can keep it, relatively small. If you have questions about that, feel free to send me a message in Google Classroom and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. The art supplies you use for this activity are totally 100% up to you. You can use, I would definitely start a pencil first, but you can use a marker or crayon to outline. Outlining is always a really great idea. You can use crayons to color, markers to color, make really, really good color choices. If you have something red in the front, should you make a red background? Probably not, because then it won't stand out. So you guys have to think about like, what can I do to make my picture stand out? Make really good color decisions. Try to use coloring supplies that aren't smudgy, that aren't 3D, so like no pom-poms or puffballs or stuff like that. Try to like keep it flat. Once you're finished, we will have a due date for these posters, so stay tuned for that. The due date will be posted in Google Classroom. And if you would like to enter yours into the contest, we will have a spot in the main office for submission. So again, stay tuned for that information. That's going to be on Google Classroom. If you are one of our winners, I will call you at home to notify you that you're a winner. And the Denville Fire Department usually hangs up winning posters either in the firehouse or town hall. And there's usually some prizes involved too. So have fun. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Do your best. I'm going to include some past winners' pictures at the end of this video. Stay tuned for those. Good luck.